So, ladies and gentlemen, we have our next session coming up, and this session is going to be chaired by Mr. Srivatsava again. This is titled Silver Industrial Demand in India, Bright and Ripe. Well, with the direction in which the discussions have been going on since morning, I think bright and ripe is an understatement. I think it's just going to explode over the next decade or so. But right now, diving deep into this forecasting scenario, as Mr. Srivatsava Ganapathy steers this session, it's time for me to start inviting our panelists up here, starting with the regional manager at Heraeus Photovoltaics, Mr. Chandresh Jain, has been successfully handling P&L responsibilities for India and EMEA region for the past 7 years, with a total of 14 years of experience across various techno-commercial roles with organizations like Siemens Gamesa, Reflex Energy, Ajit Solar, and he brings with him a wealth of knowledge of renewable supply chain. Mr. Jain holds an engineering degree in electrical domain as well as a postgraduate in finance from Ford School of Management. Outside of work, he's a travel blogger. I'm sure he has also generated enough content from Goa in that case. Our next speaker this afternoon shall be the Executive Director and one of the promoters of Dewon Electric, Mr. Vinay Rao. Dewon Electric is an emerging name in switchgear industry with their plant at Noida and the corporate office in Mumbai. Mr. Rao has over 3 decades of experience and is one amongst the few in the world to have experienced being both a consumer and a manufacturer of silver contacts. He has worked with companies like Legrand, Schneider, Havells, Hindustan Petroleum, Metalor, and MMTC PAMP. He is also pursuing his vision of developing India as a hub for silver contacts. A very warm welcome to the stage, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, and it gives me so much joy and pride as I invite her to the stage. Last year round, she was a guest delegate at the India Silver Conference, and she was still a research scholar at that time, and she was sitting in the audience as a guru stood on the stage and presented. Today, she herself comes and joins us on the stage as a panelist. Let's give a resounding round of applause to Shiwani Pareek, working in Adani Solar as manager in Cell Technology Department. As Shiwani walks up, let me tell you, she is a PhD from IIT Mumbai and has worked on development of silver paste for solar PV application in Adani Solar, and is also working on metallization related projects to incorporate newer innovation in production line to maximize solar cell efficiency. Our next speaker and our final one on this panel will be the CEO of Modison Limited, FMPBW Bearing Private Limited, Trust and Tape, CG Power and Industrial Solutions, CG PPI Adhesive Products. Let's give a huge round of applause to Mr. Murli Nikam. With over 3 decades of industry experience since 11 years, he's been handling an entire gamut of businesses with P&L management and has made a turnaround of business in terms of top line and bottom line with multiple strategies. He has also handled multiple products during a span of 27 years, which include electric fans, motors, panels, adhesives, composites, aluminium, and cast iron cartridges. Ladies and gentlemen, as I leave this session in the hands of Mr. Srivatsava Ganapathy, I just want to find out if 2 of our delegates from AN Choksi are here. Do we have Mr. Kalpesh Dund in the house? Not yet. Okay. I leave this session with you, sir.
Thank you, Ruchika, and very good afternoon to all of you, sir. As you would notice, we have a very eminent set of speakers. I am the least qualified among them, so I should speak less and let them do the talking. And I request one help from you. Please keep the questions flowing, because I don't have any questions. So, what we have done this time is that we have asked our speakers to focus on 2 specific areas. So we have chosen electrical contact and silver paste. So first we will have a brief presentation from each of them, and then we will have the question answer. We will start with the presentation on electrical contact, its potential in India and abroad, from Mr. Vinay Rao. Over to you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to begin by thanking Eventell for inviting me for this conference. And I would like to begin by stating that I'm feeling very happy today that I will be on the other side of the edge. For almost 30 years, I have been representing the electrical contact industry as a manufacturer and seller of the product. Today, I am very happy to be a consumer of this product, and I would like to share my perspective from the consumer's point of view. Jain to everyone. I would like to share my gratitude to EMA, which is the apex body for the switchgear industry. EMA stands for Indian Electrical and Electronic Manufacturers Association, and they represent not only the switchgear industry, but also the contact industry. My colleagues and seniors from the contact industry would agree with me that we do not have any representation. We have been in India for the last 63 years, and mind you, we have always been others, including the HSN codes. When we go and participate in exhibitions, we try and find if we can find name electrical contacts, but then we always end up being accessories for electrical products. I think a day will come when we will have our own HSN code very soon. We are trying to represent ourselves with the government of India and recommending some steps to do that. The objective of today's presentation is to dwell upon what are the significant trends in the switchgear industry. Like I mentioned, I will be speaking from the point of view of the consumer. What are the reasons that we believe that there is going to be a surge in the demand for silver? The market trends, the demands, the forecasts, the challenges. Of course, there are a lot of challenges, opportunities. Basically, a lot of our colleagues have mentioned that silver is the best for the electrical industry. I heard yesterday a gentleman stating that once or when the silver price goes very high, there is a possibility that someone will look for a replacement. My viewpoint on this is, in July 2006, the European Union passed the directive, which was ROHS or ROS, which was restriction on the use of hazardous substances. Incidentally, it was felt that we do not have replacement for cadmium as far as the electrical contacts is concerned, and we were given exemption. And that exemption lasted for several years. And the reason for that is not that we do not have only the replacement material, but please understand, switchgear and silver contact is a unique industry. Every time there is change in the product has to go through rigorous tests, and these tests are done not only internally by the manufacturers, but it also has to go through a stringent test through the third-party laboratories, and we can count the number of labs those are available in the world. This is the biggest challenge for anyone to replace silver. So beyond doubt, I believe that we as electrical industry are completely dependent on silver as far as switchgears are concerned. Some of the use of silver in the electrical industry: silver, wherever you need to conduct current, you require silver. Maybe it's PCBs, it could be the connectors where silver forms part of the alloy. We have electrical contacts and also electroplating. Many times in the switchgear industry, there are brass and copper terminals which needs to be plated with silver, and silver is the most preferred choice metal there. I have not included brazing material or brazing paste in this presentation, because even though silver is used predominantly in brazing material, but it forms a very small component as far as the electrical industry is concerned. Brazing material is predominantly used in the HVAC industry and also in the construction industry. Current market trends: what are the drivers as far as the silver contact or the silver demand is concerned? We are all looking at so many developments happening in and around us, but mind you, when we see something being inaugurated today, the hard work has happened over a period of time, maybe 6 months, 1 year. meaning the demand of silver is today, but the progress is tomorrow. And there are several driving factors, including the infrastructure development in India, which is contributing to higher demand of silver. The railway signaling, for example, I would like to share some example. I mentioned defense and railway. The railway signaling relays itself contribute a large amount of silver as far as the consumption of silver is concerned. And each of these applications, most of the time, are for life-saving devices. So here is where we understand the criticality and contribution of the silver industry as far as the switchgear industry is concerned. Of course, our friends mentioned during the previous session about the green hydrogen value chain, current market trends, factors which are influencing the increase in demand. Our government has declared that we will be net zero by 2070. This means that the energy transition has already begun, and we all who are present in this room should be part of the celebration. Each one of us is going to contribute towards the development of our great nation, and this is also going to value add to the activity that we are doing, including adding margins and value add to our activity. The EV industry is in a boom. In 2019, the contribution of EV in automotive sales was just 0.9%, but we will see that by the year 23, it has gone up to 5.05%. My interaction with friends from the EV industry claims that even though the sales of EV industry has grown in India, but the contribution in terms of increase of silver is yet to arrive. Most part of these components are presently being imported. And I am feeling not so good to share that my fellow manufacturers today are followers and not leaders. A day should come where we should lead in innovating what is required for the world. That will enable us to not only be part of the supply chain in India, but also exports. So I believe research and development from the Indian companies for the EV industry will help a long way, not only fulfilling silver demand in India, but also globally. We have a nice, interesting session at the end of the day, and I believe EV will be one of the topics of discussion. The regulatory requirements in India are now getting stringent. Previously, it was only the high-rise buildings which were mandated to use safety devices. But now we are seeing that even the remote part of India is contributing to the compliances and the safety requirements. In fact, I have seen in metros that now we have smart auditing systems which are being installed at every household, which takes care to monitor the energy losses and also to provide a lot of convenience and safety to the user. This is going to add towards the contribution and increase in demand of silver. India today is the 5th largest economy, and when we reach to become the 3rd largest economy of the world, we can understand the amount of demand that will be created in the industry. Our friends from EMA stated that for every 1% increase in GDP, the power demand in India increases by 0.9%. And anywhere and everywhere there is power requirement, silver has to be there. The question that I have in mind when I'm presenting and when I was preparing this presentation is, there is no doubt that demand will be created, but are we ready to explore and fulfill the requirement that will be generated because of this economic growth? We will require a lot of capacities to be increased as far as the electrical contacts and switch gears are concerned. Yes. We also want to add here that the technological advancement in the field of electrical industry, where we are going to see that we reduce the consumption of silver, is also going to add on value to the manufacturers in India, and this will also allow us to grow our business. This is a chart about where we were in March 2022. We had just 33 crore consumers of electricity, And the plans of the government of India states that by the year 30, we will have 52 crores, which is an increase of 58% in terms of the number of consumers of power. This in itself is an indicator about the amount of growth that we will be seeing in the electrical industry, invariably adding on to the demand for silver and silver contacts. The challenges, due to short of time, I will quickly add on the challenges. The important challenges, of course, is the limits of the silver reserves, the geopolitical tensions, the environment concerns that are posed. I know that there are only presently 3 good delivery status for silver in India, but I am sure that in very short time we will have a couple of more added to the good delivery status as far as the silver good delivery bars are concerned. Import of switchgear and silver contacts. Yesterday there was a lot of noise about SIPA and imports from Dubai, but I would like to add that there are also a lot of other countries in the world where already SIPA exists, and there are lots of imports coming into India for the silver contacts at nil duty. These are going to be the challenges that we will have to come out of. Opportunities, of course, research and development, recycling technology, efficiency improvements, and also we are trying to see that we export our product to those countries which have SIPA with us. Future outlook, with the growing economy, with the EV vehicles adding to the demand, we will have a lot of additional demand of silver in our country. The economic growth of India is also going to drive larger requirement of silver. I conclude with stating that the demand of silver in the industrial product will definitely increase from the present day 30% to maybe up to 55% in the next 3 to 5 years' time. Lastly, I would also like to leave here with a question. We will surely have more demand for silver by 2030, but are we sure that we will have enough supply of silver to meet this demand? And do we have enough capacities in the manufacturing sector to fulfill the demand not only for India, but also globally? I wish you all the best, my dear friends, and wish that we as country become the leaders in the field of innovation and development and fulfill not only the Indian demand, but also the global demand. Thank you so much.
That was a very powerful presentation on the potential opportunity in electrical contacts. We will take up the question towards the end once all the speakers are finished with their presentation. Now we have 3 back-to-back presentation on silver paste. I will call the lady first. Shiwani.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, ma'am, for your kind introduction. And I would like to thank the organizers for providing me this opportunity to present my thoughts on silver paste for solar applications and opportunities in India and abroad. I'll start my presentation with showing you the company profile. So I'm working in Adani Solar in Cell Technology Department, and what you are seeing is the beautiful green campus we have in Kutch region of Gujarat, and the city is Mundra. And we have India's first and largest vertically integrated solar company, and we have a 4 gigawatt of manufacturing capacity there. So Adani Solar is a subsidiary of Adani Enterprise Limited, and currently we have there within this campus we have 2 gigawatt of module and wafer production line, 2 gigawatt of PERC and 2 gigawatt of TOPCon, and 4 gigawatt module production line. And we are equipped with all kinds of latest technological equipments which are used for reliability testing for our modules, which give the best performance. And we have received so many awards for the high quality product which we make there. So as I told you, we are making everything there, from ingot and wafer, which is the precursor material, then we make cells, then we make module, which is the final product which we see outside everywhere. So the value chain is like, we are there providing an integration in true sense. It is like vertical integration, so not just the ingot and wafer, the backward of it like metallurgical grade silica and polysilicon, that is also we are going to make there. Not just that, to make module we require so many ancillaries which have like EVA, it is an encapsulant, we have backsheet facilities, we manufacture our own glass there and the aluminum frame. So it's like under one roof we are making all required products which make a complete solar panel. So it's an integration in a true sense. And not just that, we have plans to expand our production capacity till 10 gigawatt in future. So as you saw in this slide, from wafer to cell, to make silicon wafer into a solar cell, it goes through so many processing steps, which are like PN junction formation and anti-reflection coating, etc. And the last step is called metallization. So what happens during metallization? A silver metal in form of paste is applied on the silicon wafer. And the application method is screen printing, and the silver is deposited in form of these lines which you see in this picture. So these horizontal thin lines are called fingers and the vertical lines are bus bars, and these fingers are the ones which provide contact to silicon and silver so that we can conduct electricity to outer circuit. And these bus bars are used, these are current collection fingers, and two cells while making panel are joined together in form of interconnects using bus bar to bus bar contact. And as you see, this whole process of metallization, it accounts like the silver paste here accounts for 60% of non-silicon cost, which is a substantial amount of expenditure, and it costs around 10% of module fabrication cost. And you know, these emerging technologies which are N-type TOPCon and heterojunction technology, so these require silver paste application on both front and rear side. So the paste goes, like the silver amount which we use in these kind of architectures goes double or more than that. And at the right I am showing this picture which has a typical composition of front finger silver paste. So there are three main components: silver metal powder, which accounts for approximately 98% of the paste. Then comes the glass frit. So glass frit provides contact between the silver and silicon, and it acts as an inorganic binder, so it provides adhesion to the silver film. And the organic mixture, this is used to make a paste-like consistency, and it provides the rheological properties which are required for screen printing of the paste. So in this slide I am showing that all different kinds of silver paste which we use in PV industry. So we can divide it into three categories. One is the high temperature firing paste. So the PERC architecture, which is P-type architecture, it requires three different kinds of paste. One is front finger paste and bus bar paste, which I showed in last slide, and third one is the tabbing or silver soldering paste. So this picture shows here these silver tabs at the rear side. This is also silver paste. Then comes low temperature curable paste, which is heterojunction technology, and the upcoming emerging technology, which is silicon perovskite tandem cells, which are higher in efficiency. It will take some time for them to come in market, but they will come in some time. And the ECA, it's electrically conducting adhesive. So what happens when we print these lines on the wafer? So it hinders the light capturing part. So to minimize the wafer area where all the sunlight gets captured inside the wafer to increase the efficiency, what we do, there is an architecture which is called zero bus bar architecture. So this is the shingle design it is called, and heterojunction mainly uses it. So there also we apply one kind of silver paste which is electrically conducting adhesives. And all these pastes differ in size and morphology and amount of silver metal powder. And these are some of the examples of spherical size and silver flakes which are used in different kinds of paste. So there is an opportunity that we get, we can develop these kinds of powders in large scale, and I'll come to that later. Yeah, this is some of the market insights I put here. You can see the market forecast from one of the research magazine. It shows that there is around $5,000 million of market is there for photovoltaic paste by 2028 with a growth of 8.2%. And last year, in comparison to last year, this year we have increased 64% of the demand silver in photovoltaic itself. And the reasons are not just for the country but for the world. These are the main reasons we can list out, like the technological advancements happening with different newer architectures, the evolving consumer preferences that everybody wants higher efficiency panels, and government is also supplying because we want to cater the non-fossil fuel power generation, and this is one of the largest market for that, because as you know, we have decided to go for 500 gigawatt non-fossil fuel power generation by 2030, and the large part of it will definitely come for the solar photovoltaic. And the comes for the consumption part. As you can see, these three architectures we are comparing here, and according to this research paper, it says that per watt consumption of silver is for PERC is 16, TOPCon is 30, and for heterojunction is 40. These numbers are for maybe for different architectures and different with time, as time process these number changes, but it is for sure that TOPCon and heterojunction use a 2 or 2.3 times higher silver than the PERC. And if this scenario goes on, definitely we are going to use 85 to 98% of total silver reserve by 2050. And to change this, because it is a little threatening condition, so to change it, what we require are technological innovations, and the target is approximately 5 milligrams per watt. And in this condition, we'll use approximately 21% of global silver reserve. But how did this happen? Like, it clearly says that silver is going to be there, even in this case also when we minimize the consumption, and silver is the reason for this shine of solar PV industry. But how to get it? So for sustainable development, we can see these are the few of the approaches which we are going to, in industry, we are going to adapt. So innovation in metallization step, we can you know, these are three different approaches which we can follow. One with respect to the paste, another one with respect to the dispensing mechanism, and the third one for screen design. So all three industries will have to come together for the sustainable development of PV. And there are alternative materials which are like copper paste, silver coated copper, silver blended with copper, but these are for lower temperature applications like heterojunction or perovskite maybe. But there are few issues like, these are cost effective of course, but the adhesion issue, reliability issue, and a slightly lower efficiency issues are there, but they can, with research and development, they can be overcome. And then comes the copper electroplating, nickel electroplating, but these are still in research phase. And because screen printing, the main advantage is of screen printing is the higher throughput, and if we go for plating, it may come down. Another aspect is, which in earlier session also we discussed about the silver recovery from scraped solar panels. So if the technique evolves and we can maximize the extraction of silver from the scraped solar panels, we can actually think about it also. And there is a research from UNSW which says that PV waste by 2050 is going to be this much, 78 million tons. Why? Because we know that the expiry or warranty is 25 to 35 years, and the first panels which were installed for consumers was in 90s. So this is the time where we are going to get a heap of these scraped panels, and the estimated recovery, if the technology is so good, it will be approximately 50 million kilograms. So these are the pictures I have shown there for all the materials which we can extract from the scraped panels. And these are the opportunities in this PV industry, or in terms of if we put silver in center, and then the PV industry, if we look at then the research, investment, collaboration and production. So first is the silver salt production, a high quality, high purity silver salt which is used for silver powder making. So there is a huge opportunity in that. Then industrial, academia collaborations are always welcome to minimize the silver consumption. So we have to make innovation in this area and incorporation of alternative materials which successfully deliver the same efficiency and reliability. And of course Indian silver producers, they can collaborate with paste manufacturers for joint technology projects and large scale domestic manufacturing to strengthen our PV supply. Yeah, these are my thoughts on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shiwani. May I request Mr. Murli Nikam kindly do the presentation.
Good afternoon. Because after the sweet lunch, I just wanted to check with you whether you are there. So, good afternoon. Once again, good afternoon. Great. So, this is the second time I am getting opportunity to talk on in the silver conference. Like Vinay Rao said that he has come, he was there in contact industry and then shifted to the switchgear industry. Exactly reverse has happened with me. I was there in switchgear industry, now into the contact industry. So it is always better to have such a kind of exchange of industry to understand from each other what are the pain area. Yesterday I was talking to Vinay Rao that as you are there in the industry, so you have to also communicate to our customers what kind of the pains which we are carrying, and please take care of us in the switchgear industry. Similar job I can also do as a past a member of switchgear industry. Yeah. I am from Modison, so I will actually brief about this silver opportunities, EV and solar. But before going to the subject, I will also talk about something about our company. Modison is established in the company in 1965, and 1975 actually we started making silver bars, and there was an export for this silver bars. It was 999 bar was made. And there are actually two companies, Modison Copper and Modison Limited. Modison Limited actually is in the business of manufacturing the contacts, low voltage and high voltage. We have got actually technology collaboration with Dodoco. So the agenda will be that, like, small introduction, then product portfolio, then opportunities in EV and solar, then growth factor initiatives, and further the conclusion. Actually, our company has the core values of taking care of these people, and when by doing the expectation, by meeting the expectations of the stakeholders, we always take care of the environment and society. We have global presence. Actually, we have our we are able to serve more than 23 countries across the world. Mr. G.L. Modi is the founder member of this company. And this is the product portfolio which we have, and most of the products actually which are we are manufacturing are required for the EV and solar applications. And of course, the switchgear industry is the major industry for us. So if you look at the low voltage products which are made of silver, that's silver nickel, silver graphite, silver tin oxide, we are making solid rivets, we are in the button contacts. So you name the products, and we are there in this range. Apart from this, we also make other products from MVN. This is a product portfolio. So we are also there in the inlays, where copper and silver, the composite materials are made. These actually tulip contacts, where copper and silver materials is a combination of copper and silver material. We are ISO 9001 company. We also have the enable accreditation for our lab. This is a state-of-art lab actually which we have. Without state-of-art facility, this silver contact manufacturing is very challenging. So this is the state-of-art facility available with us. Now coming back to the global silver demand. Actually, this data, I am not the authority to talk on EV or on solar. Many speakers are there who are talking about solar and EV since morning. So my job has become very simple. So basically, total silver, this data actually, the main data source is the Silver Institute and Metal Focus. And apart from that, MNRE and Central Electricity Authority, they are the sources for the electricity. Whereas the silver means, yeah. So total demand actually is, if you look at it, 2023, so 22,110 tons of the silver demand is there. Apart from that, so the total industrial demand, if you look at it, so 36% of the actually demand is coming from the electrical and electronics industry. Then comes to the photovoltaic, where it is standing at around 33%, and the rest of the things are from the brazing alloy. This is what actually we are trying to we are trying to project it at 10 to 12% growth for the industrial demand. Looking at major focus will be on the photovoltaic actually demand. When we were looking at the silver usage, this 3,000 BC, actually we have started, we are using silver for various applications. And from 18 to 2000 BC, if you look at it, these are the various applications which are actually done during that year. And my focus is actually on EV and solar application. When I was looking at this data, then I saw that there are 10,000 applications of the silver which are present across the world. So India's EV revolution is actually, when we talk about India's EV revolution actually, so it is going to grow at 45% growth CAGR. This is what this is predicted. Particularly for the EV application, these are the areas where actually this silver is going to be used in EV application. This is particularly infonet systems, the navigation systems, electric power steering, then the airbag deployment systems, automatic braking systems, driverless alertness systems. These are the actually potential area where this silver is majorly used. When we are talking about silver usage actually in the EV vehicle, so internal combustion engine, actually IC also has 15 to 20 grams silver in various systems, which I have already explained. Hybrid vehicles will have 18 to 34 grams, whereas the battery electric vehicles will have 25 to 50 grams. So ancillary services which are required for this, those are also increasing, including charging stations, charging points for the electric vehicle. And future, future petrol pumps will get replaced with the electric charging pumps. Whereas the EV chargers, these are the basically 4 applications where charging points, DC converters, then the safety interlock and electric metering units will have major, actually the electrical silver contacts which will be used for these EV chargers. So India's estimation for the EV vehicle will be growing from 2.2 million to 9.1 million by 2027. And when we are trying to calculate that every EV vehicle will have some 35, I have made 35 gram average EV vehicle consumption. So it comes to around 319 metric tons consumption in 2027. Similarly, solar, actually, there are many drivers for the solar, apart from the regulatory demands. But this solar also has saved a lot of money for the, because of the energy cost. And this is one of the driving force actually for the solar applications. Huge untapped potential actually. When we are talking about India's estimation is around 900 gigawatt, and 750 gigawatt actually we are going to reach to the solar energy in the future. So you can understand that what kind of silver demand will be there for the solar applications. Peak power demand in India actually is growing, so this solar requirement is going to grow. So Central Electricity Authority says that by 2030, 817 gigawatt actually the energy will be required for the India. And the Indian electricity consumption is growingly 80%, about 847 billion units. So solar application in India by 2017, this is again National Electricity Plan, where we are talking about 183 gigawatt by 2017, which is 36% growth, year-on-year growth. So silver consumption, which is required by for the paste and particularly majority of the paste. So this is what I have estimated that and talk to the different industry experts. So this is the silver demand which will be growing in the industry by 2027. There are amazing actually facts about the silver other than EV and solar. I thought that I should also talk something about silver. So silver word actually has come from the Anglo-Saxon silver. Apart from that, Sanskrit, many people may not know. Actually, Sanskrit word argununas means shining. That is how the silver actually it has also coming from the Sanskrit word. So Greek goddess, they ride on the silver chariot through the sky, shooting silver moonbeams to the earth with the silver bow. In India, the food, actually the work is used for the silver. And silver has been, we said that silver has been used as a poor man's gold throughout the history. So now it is common man gold, is what I have heard in the morning. So Green Institute at Modison, we are also implementing the solar plants at our factory. And this is what I always say that this is the ECG for the silver. So this is actually a challenge for us, that how this volatility of the silver rates, how to manage this volatility. So reference for my presentations are Silver Institute, Metal Focus, National Institute Plan, Bullion Words. So thank you for all references, and thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
May now invite Mr. Chandresh Jain to make his presentation.
Good afternoon. I know post-lunch sessions are difficult for audience and speaker both, and especially when we already have 3 presentations. Thanks to my colleague from Adani, she already explained the technical part of it, so I will not go too deep in technical, but I will start more on what's happening in terms of commercial side on silver paste. So good afternoon again. My name is Chandresh, and I work with a company named Heraeus Photovoltaics, and I will take you along with what we do, how we do, and what silver paste is happening. This will be a flow, but about Heraeus, silver paste, solar market, overview, demand, supply, and opportunity challenges. But we may skip some slide if the content is already covered. So start with the Heraeus Group. It's a German company, 30 billion euro turnover in 2022. We have 100 sites in 40 countries, 18 operating companies, 17,000 employees. And I think the core business is around precious metal all along. Silver is one of them, but yeah, they have everything across in the chain. The business division I work for and I represent is Heraeus Photovoltaics. Their core business, make the silver paste to supply for the solar cell manufacturing. And they started their journey and now almost have 40 years experience from thin film paste and now in silver paste. So Taiwan, Singapore, China, India, Korea, where there's the demand, we were there. We were supplying, supporting everyone across. So we are not located or restricted to one geography, but we have been catering and following our customer for the support and the product as when required. This is just a chart of our current present. And 160 plus years of experience in precious metal is what Heraeus growing. And I'm proud to say that in a company, we have more R&D than what we have in production. So that is the difficult entry barrier for silver paste market. You need a lot, you need to be dynamic, you need a lot of changes. You know, solar panel right now, what is the efficiency? Around 20 to 24%, right? We have a long way to go. We have to achieve 80, 90%. So industry is fighting, they are changing. Across the value chain, they are trying to improve. 0.1% gain, everybody jumps on their seat. So to support this growth, you have to be dynamic. There has to be patent, there has to be material which has to be modified. And thankfully with the Heraeus, the focus is so much on R&D that they are able to support it. This is a simple manufacturing process which happen if, I know people are here from solar and other industry. Polysilicon, ingot, wafer, cell. Cell is where we put the silver paste. And probably this is the most complex process in the entire supply chain till you get the final module which get installed on the field or on the screen. This is how screen printing happens. So what Shiwani showed in her side, fingers and bus bar. So there are different printers. Some may have 1, 2, 3. But this is how it goes. Once it is printed, it goes through a furnace. All raw material, vehicle and everything goes out and silver remains, which is the core function is to bring conductivity. So whatever electricity is generated is used. 3 parts, as everyone say, it's very simple. Vehicle, silver powder and glass powder. But among these company, we have 350 patents and probably 80 or 90 odd research institutes are working on it, how to optimize this to get maximum efficiency out of it. So it's an opportunity and a challenge. This is a global solar module cell and manufacturing capacity. 569 gigawatt was installed till 2022. It's a reference, so source may be different, but this is an approximately number. Multi-mono different, if you see, as earlier speaker said, Elvis mentioned that there is a overcapacity. Cell manufacturing has been way ahead of the demand. But looking at a silver, I don't care how much is the capacity. What I see is how much every year there is a demand for silver. Even if they are running at 50%, they have to make a cell, they have to use the silver. So as a silver person, there is a demand and it's growing exponentially, probably doubling every second year. Talking about India, just an overview. Initially, the solar cell capacity was small. There was transition. We were importing everything across. But good is our Honorable Prime Minister is the biggest brand ambassador for solar. And when after the launching Ayodhya temple, first thing he did was, I am going to let Lord Sun guide us our future, because solar is pure, sure, and secure. And that's what he has been doing in the backside for last 3 years. He introduced custom duties on importing cell and modules. He introduced PLM, product linked incentive for Make in India. And parallelly, he launched ALLM, which is all module cell manufactured have to be aggregated, otherwise you cannot use it. This has been able to eliminate a lot of import, and now the domestic market is increasing and all big corporate houses are jumping into it. That's why the projection from 23 to 24 to 28, we can see capacity going from 7 gigawatt up to 60 gigawatt. Even if the number differ by 5 or 10, still it will be a significant jump in solar cell manufacturing. So if cell manufacturing increases, the market for silver paste increases, and so does that. This again a number based on 22, what was in terms of USD billion for cell and module. And taking a clue from market metal focus only. Why I highlighted this is, among all the demand side, you see the highest growth is coming 28% and 15% from photovoltaics. All other sectors are same or negative, but this has been growing. So wherever we go, however we go, as I put in, are there challenges for silver paste market? What can happen? What if power demand globally goes down? It's impossible, right? AI is coming, EV is coming, data mining is happening, so power demand cannot go down. We are getting more and more dependent on power. Requirement is increasing. Even the weather changes. You are putting more AC in Europe, you are putting more heating system in India, so power demand is going up. Change in policy, what if government decide to support another technology? But still, as we have heard everyone across, to promote sustainability, to reduce carbon emission, I don't see change in policy is affecting the solar demand. Solar installation going down. Even during the COVID when everything was down, solar installation was going on. So again, solar installation will not go down. Actually, solar is eating up market of thermal, wind, even hydro, because it's quick to install, it's decentralized, you can put it anywhere. And alternative product. What if silver get replaced? Because again, it's a technology product. But right now, looking at current installation, it's not going to be replaced. There is some research where copper can be replaced, a bit of silver, but full silver replacement, I don't see right now happening. And scarcity of AG, I think everybody know there is a scarcity, but recycling may pump up, recycling may increase. And if there is a demand from solar, probably people will reduce the investment or keep themselves and give it to the sector. That's it from me. Thank you.
Right, we have finished with all the presentations. I have a few questions before I take the questions from the audience. First, I'll start with Mr. Vinay Rao. You made an excellent presentation on the electrical contacts. We also see new players entering the silver contact industry within India and also multinational. how do you see impacting this industry going forward?
The entry of multinationals.
Yes.
I have always believed that if there is one flower shop, and when there are a lot of flower shops adding, it becomes a flower market. The demand will grow further. Secondly, when we have multinationals coming into India, they will always add value by bringing in new technologies. It will add value in making India as a hub for silver contacts. When silver contact industry began, it was always Germany which was considered as the hub. I know a lot of people would go to Germany for undergoing training, and then they built it up here in India. Then the focus shifted to Japan, more or so, with new technologies coming in. I believe with India shining happening, the silver in India will also shine, and with multinationals coming in, it will add more value to our country and the industry per se.
We have seen a very positive growth figures from solar. What do you see as a annual growth or a 5-year growth for contact industry, given the opportunities what you have presented?
I believe as far as India is concerned, I will focus and answer it specific to India. I see year-on-year growth now on to increase from at least minimum 10%, and then it will go beyond every year. Reason being, we are going to have a lot of substitutes for cadmium that is happening, and this will add to the demand of supplies from India. I also see a lot of switchgear companies investing in India. There has been investment without naming companies in Telangana. I see investment at Pune. I as an entrepreneur, I am investing in the switchgear industry. So you can understand, we know the scope is immense. The growth is going to be profound, and I see exponential growth at least for next 5 years.
In your presentation, your last slide says that when growth in demand is there for sure, at least in India is concerned, whereas what you are concerned with is the supply. But we have also seen in India, whenever the price goes up, the scrap supplies into the market is always there. There's also the physical investment which is waiting to be taken back at a price. So why you have these concerns, what is the concern? You want a metal of certain purity, or you're scared of the availability of metal itself?
My concern when I mention about supply of silver, I mention this as the purest form of silver. Presently, like I mentioned, in India we have only 3 good delivery suppliers of silver bars, and the amount of purity that is required in silver contact is going to be immense. It has to be 99.99. We had question during the first half of the session where one gentleman asked that even though silver we are using as an alloy, then how does it matter if silver is pure or not? I wanted to answer that question, but I will answer it now. There are specific words like dopants or additives, those are added in silver contacts to enhance the performance of silver contacts. The percentage of these additives are sometimes or many times far lower than even the impurity percentage of few of the elements. So the highest level of purity is what I am very much concerned about, and especially this should not contain cadmium and lead. And if we have good supply of purest form of silver, then I think my concern will be reduced a bit.
Yeah, we have the LBMA good delivery refiners in India. I don't. Is there a capacity constraint, in satisfying the demand of the industry, the contact industry, of the metal? What Mr. Vinay Rao is asking, is there a capacity constraint in that? So at least that's not there, so you can be relaxed. Actually, that's what I feel.
I am relieved, but I will be relaxed when I actually see it on reality on ground level, because the growth that our industry is focused and is going to see is going to be phenomenal. I am not speaking from the point of view of what is happening today. I am visualizing how I see the world around us evolving in next 5 years from now. I know a lot of my colleagues from the electrical contact industry have expansion plans, and some of them already put expansions in place. But believe me, we are going to see a lot of growth. I am happy that there are positive sentiments among the suppliers, and this relieves me a bit.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And now we also have a veteran in electrical contract. Murli ji, like, any comments on how do you see growth in industry, the contact industry?
Yeah, contact industry, as we have seen that electrical in electronics or photovoltaic or EV are going to go very, very exponentially. And what I am seeing actually with reference to the India market, actually of course the growth will come from the customers. So when I was talking about switchgear industry, low voltage switchgear industry, and when I had met 15 to 20 customers, most of the customers are talking about, particularly switchgear industry is talking about anything from between 15 to 30% growth for the switchgear. And as the switchgear industry is going to grow, obviously contact industry is going to grow. When I'm talking about electrical contact industry, I'm saying not the copper, of course there are medium voltage contacts and high voltage contacts, but I'm referring to low voltage contacts. Yeah.
LV.
So I'm expecting this growth to be around anything between 15 to 25%.
In terms of value?
In terms of value, not in terms of value. Actually, silver industry, we always count this growth in terms of weight, consumption.
So from the current level of 500 odd tons which Metals Focus has put for electrical contacts in India per year, where do you see the demand in 3 years or 5 years?
Actually, the figure needs to be calculated, but it will be growing at the rate of 15 to 25%. This is what I have said.
So in 3 years, maybe 50% increase.
Yes. Actually, I have met couple of again the customers, and they were talking about in 3 years' time they will become double.
And would it change if the price of silver goes to $50?
Actually, in the morning also we were talking about, as long as sun and moons are there, so silver demand will be there. And this price, I understand people, because of price, shifting the consumption will not reduce, but only partly, people will shift from, अभी silver price बढ़ा है तो थोड़ा सा 15 दिन के बाद में भेजो, 10 दिन के बाद में भेजो delivery, but the consumption is not going to reduce in spite of higher prices.
Okay, I'll also ask you one question about your presentation on electric vehicle, your assessment. If we understand the current total automobile market in this country is about 4 million or 4.2 million. Last year was the best year we ever had. And of that, about 5 or 6% is the EV share currently. So you are saying currently electrical vehicle consumes 77 tons. And you are expecting it to go to 325 tons? This is what you have said.
Yeah. Actually, the consumption I have calculated as a 35 gram silver per vehicle. And as I have shown the growth of 9.1 million vehicles in 2027. So that way, if you look at it, so if you calculate it, you will come to that figure, 310 tons.
Last year was the highest ever at 4 million. So we are expecting 9 million. Then, first we have
this is what I said. This is what the expert in the industry who are working on the electric vehicle they are talking about. Yesterday, I was I was reading one article on Google where actually Tesla. I was reading about a Tesla, how much silver is being used in the Tesla car, and they are talking about. It was very surprising. So they are talking about 1 kg per car. I don't know. Need to be do the real investigation into it. So they were talking about 1 kg per. We are talking about 35 grams, and Tesla is talking about 1 kg.
Yeah.
So this is what it is going to happen for the EV. Metal Focus has to really work on this subject.
Yeah, the numbers are there, but it is for us to evaluate how true it could be. Maybe initial offer, I'm just joking, it could be that's fine. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we will go to the questions around solar. To Shiwani, you talked about various technologies. And again, I'm combining like, what you presented and then what the subsequent speakers presented in terms of where we are going in terms of manufacturing capacity. I think like, we're currently at 6 gigawatt cell manufacturing capacity, and then in 3 to 5 years time, we're projecting it to be 60 gigawatts. There are different technologies. You have been a tracker of these technologies. Where would India go in terms of technology choices? You wanted to let me know.
So sir, currently we were till last year, the major share was for PERC architecture, but it's going to be obsolete now, and the shift is towards TOPCon right now. It will go at least for 2 to 4 years more, and till the HJT production increases, and then we see that HJT will come up next. After that, there are some IBX technologies like integrated back contact, and in late future we can see silicon tandem also.
So in terms of silver consumption, what does technology transition mean?
So the minimum consumption we can see is associated with PERC, because in PERC cells we apply silver only on the front side of wafer, and the rear side is printed using aluminum paste. When we shift to the TOPCon, the front and rear both are printed using silver paste, and the same goes to HJT paste also. The difference is just that TOPCon is higher temperature processing, where the paste makes contact at approximately 800 to 900 degrees, and in case of HJT we make processing less than 200 degrees it can withstand. So the pastes are different, but the material is of course silver. So, and in further technologies also, for contact formation silver is going to be there, but increase is like from PERC to TOPCon to HJT is approximately 2 to 2.3 times more silver is used in these architectures. So it's going to increase.
So we also heard from Mr. Chandresh Jain presentation. There is how technology intensive it is. As an integrated player, Adani Solar is aspiring to do everything in-house. I'm not saying do you have bandwidth, because we all know Adani has that kind of thing. But is it going to be an India ambition, or it's going to be a global ambition? Is what we'd like to, because having established that kind of an infrastructure, we would want to take the technology not only in India but abroad. So you have mentioned in your presentation the goal is currently 4 gigawatt, but to move to 10 gigawatt. Is this 10 gigawatt for India, or it's looking at beyond India?
Actually 4 gigawatt we are already producing right now, and it is for domestic and for international market also, and the same will happen for 10 gigawatt also. Like, it's domestic manufacturing, but definitely customers are worldwide.
So doing it everything inside, including wafer, solar, paste, etc. Is it for cost reasons or technology development reasons? What is the motive basically?
Yes,
because as we have already heard, these are technologies which are well established, and these are R&D intensive, and it's available at most competitive rate. What is the motive for Adani to do everything in-house?
Sir, I think I would say first is to strengthen the PV supply chain in country, and as you know, the government is also the Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India is there, and we surely believe in that thought process, and we are working for our country to make it self-reliant in this industry. So that is the reason why we chose to struggle with these technologies, to develop it in-house and use it for our own and for worldwide production also.
Okay. In terms of supply of silver, for that, do you face any challenges, as Mr. Vinay was telling?
I mean, as for silver paste consumption, I mean, it's there for import, and we do that only, at least for now.
Okay.
So it should not be a matter of concern.
You don't see that as a major constraint at all? Yeah? Okay, thank you very much. And Mr. Chandresh, we will just start with this question, the second question from Kishoji. I am still not clear that the total silver demand worldwide for PV. Can you just put some number to that one? You are saying currently we are 600 gigawatts, and 16 milligrams per watt. What does it translate to in terms of how much of silver has already gone into solar?
See, it's difficult to conclude because, as Shiwani mentioned, there are various technologies, at least 5 or 6 type of technologies which are currently under process. Every type of cell use different type of silver. There can be 80 milligram per one cell or 150 milligram per cell. So putting an accurate number is like looking at a mirror gaze, which even our big four are not able to predict. But what we took as our internal thumb rule is, for 1 gigawatt of module which are made, we need approximately 14 ton of silver paste. 1 gigawatt, 14 ton.
What
So
was it 10 years ago? What was this 10 years ago, roughly?
Consumption?
The same metrics, what you said, for 1 gigawatt, today it's about 14 tons.
Right.
What was it 10 years ago?
It was around 3 times.
3 tons.
Initially in India, Mozarbeer, Euro Multivision, Indosolar was the company who started this for export market. Even that time Heraeus was there supplying the paste. So we know the consumption was like 200, 180, 200 mega per watt peak. So it was 3 times, now it has reduced. So per watt consumption is reducing, but the overall capacity is increasing huge.
So the size of the pie is increasing.
Yeah, exactly. Now globally we have 1000 gigawatt of capacity, and there are so many technologies, and every player, even if we say TopCon, between top 3 players, their consumption is different because they are putting so much money in R&D. Frankly saying, just follow the solar journey. When I started solar, we did the first project. It has a tariff of 17 rupees. So 1 unit of solar power was sold. The seller was getting 17 rupees. And in 10 years, it came to 2 rupees. So from 17 to 2. People say telecom, the data cost has crashed by Jio. But I say solar has a more steep trajectory than even telecom. So this is because advancement in technology which is happening. So, but still you can take a ballpark figure of 1 gigawatt is around 14 ton. So as we are predicting 500 gigawatt next year, 500 to 550, you can do the maths.
So there's a related question, is increase in efficiency of a solar cell directly proportional to the silver consumption?
Partially, not fully. Partially it is related to the solar consumption, but definitely that's a challenge, as we say. Company want to reduce the silver laydown, they want to reduce the per cell consumption, but they also want to increase the efficiency. And that's why they keep us on the toes, our team keep on working how to find the optimum route for it. They can go, HJT as a technology which is coming has only 5 manufacturing steps. TopCon has 16. But their silver consumption is double the TopCon, almost. So that's why HJT doesn't find any adoption. So what industry does is silver coated copper. We introduce it. So it has 40% silver, 60% copper. So instead of reducing the overall laydown, we try to find to reduce the cost. So copper got introduced. So we cannot say directly it's affected, but yeah, partially. We have to find a tradeway between both of them.
What is the import duty currently on the paste import into India?
For module manufacture, it's nil.
There's no.
Because there is no local manufacturing in India, so government is not putting it.
Is there any country restrictions? We cannot import from this country, something like that? Is that
right now, no.
You also mentioned in your projections from FY 2023 to 28, India's cell production manufacturing is going to go from 6 gigawatts to 60. We have heard Adani's plan of going to 10 gigawatts. What other people like, how this 60 gigawatts just...
The list is there. See, government introduced a production link incentive schemes like they are doing for all other sector. So people participated, and all the big group, I can name Reliance, actively working in Jamnagar with their gigafactory. Tata is putting up, they are expanding. They already was there for long. Adani is there, they are going big. Jindal has plan, and other companies like Crew, Renew. So there is a PLI scheme where everybody has participated and they are doing it. And they are doing it for 2 reasons. Domestic market is increasing and export market is also increasing. US has some restriction on importing it from China. So India is finding a favor among it.
There's one interesting question. Does silver paste vaporize with use over time? Does it vaporize over time?
No, if you see the module manufacturing process, cell is not directly exposed, it's finally get packed. If you see a panel, it get vacuum sealed. So silver doesn't vaporize and evaporate. Because the outside temperature what we see is 40 and 50, and silver vaporizing temperature is 700 to 800 degrees.
And the question of Mr. Michael Duranzo, I guess it is addressed, like, yes, we cannot take the current count of 16 milligrams as a basis because these installations have happened over the years and they were loadings which are 3x, and so therefore, like, this cannot be simple math of,
Exactly, as I said, every year there are experts coming in with a projection, and next year all are proving wrong. People were thinking that by 2030 we will get a tariff of in solar say 7 rupees, 8 rupees, but we already reached 2 rupees. So this industry, everyone is working so hard and we are breaking all the barriers. So all projections gone wrong. Even 3 months, 6 months down the line, what is going to happen, it's difficult to project.
Right, this
But-
question, yeah, sorry.
But the point will remain is solar is there to grow.
Yeah.
No one can deny it.
So one question for Mr. Vinay Rao and Mr. Murli. This last question, despite rapid strides in electronic manufacturing in India, why has India not been able to manufacture high quality silver powder or paste? Let Murli sir take actually, because they run a refinery also.
Yeah, actually, high quality powder we can surely manufacture, but high quality paste, of course I need to understand. We are talking to Dr. Bhargav actually. Dr. Parag Bhargav actually is working on this paste, for silver paste for this application. So maybe actually industry has not concentrated on silver paste, and in which now we are projecting the market and all. So I'm sure that most of my colleagues and including us actually we are working on this project, and we are looking forward to have the cooperation from the institute and other collaborators.
Sure, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mr. Vinay Rao.
Yeah, I would like to add on it. I'm not an expert in electronics, but as far as electrical is concerned, for contact, we have enough good quality powder available. Quality is a relative term about what you need. And I believe what we need is available in the industry today. We have all types of powder which are required for the electrical industry available, be it from micron. If you talk sub-micron also, I know of some companies who have already developed that. We have atomized powders, we have electrolytic powders, you name it, we have. As far as paste is concerned, I know my colleague answered the question. I am not an expert in electronics, but silver contacts, I am very sure and confident we have good quality for the present as well as for the future.
Right, we will go from you, Chandresh. One last round, final word on the topic silver industrial demand in India. How do you see the next 3 to 5 year terms in terms of promise and potential opportunities in India?
Silver demand, at least talking about solar sector, is going to happen. Either we make it in India for local use or for export to US, Europe, anywhere is happening. But with the big corporate jumping in, solar cell manufacturing is going to pick up like anything. And the demand for silver paste, and end of the day, silver is going to happen here. So there is no looking back on it. And if somebody is making a projection how much, take my words, we can prove him wrong in next 3 months directly.
So it's very difficult to project because our base is low. Is that the reason you are saying? Or we are going to grow very fast?
Because the industry is changing so fast, because of the favorable policy now we have seen from the government, that every new player want to be in the race and want to be so quickly that contracts are signing weekly basis.
Great. Murli ji.
Sir, one more point I wanted to bring it to the notice of people that, since morning I have seen some presentation or panel discussion by the Hindustan Zinc. So looking at the business opportunities of the silver and silver paste, so the primary producer are also are interested to make this kind of products. Even I have heard some time back that Adani is also going to manufacture the paste. So my request through this platform is that as there are other people, so primary people should allow some room for others, MSME or these people to manufacture this kind of secondary products. So this is just a request to all these big people.
No, Mr. Chandresh has already made it very clear it's not as easy as combining three.
See, India has made Mangalyaan, and you know that a lot of things are possible in India with the present government initiatives. I am sure that Indian scientists and of course the IITs are there. Professor Bhargav is going to talk on this subject actually after this session. So hopefully this question will be answered by him. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So definitely with increased production of solar photovoltaic market and increased consumption, we are going to see a great amount of consumption of silver paste also. So we can see there is definitely a bright future waiting ahead for it.
My take is the consumption of silver in the electrical contact industry will grow many times. The reasons, one is our own demand increasing. I see the entry of several multinational companies into India who will set up plants here, and they will make India as a hub and export it from India to worldwide. So that is going to add on to the consumption, plus the government policies which is attracting a lot of investment into India will also add into it. Once upon a time, multinationals were queuing into China to set up their bases there. China, I believe, will allow India to have a lot of companies coming in and exporting from India worldwide.
Thank you so much. That was a very fascinating session, at least for me, and request you to give a big round of applause to all the speakers. A lot of positivity, 15% growth expectation in electrical contact, EV, solar, the solar and EV sector. We have very, very positive future ahead, at least for the industrial applications of silver in India. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, and I hand over the session to Ruchika.
Thank you so much, Vatsa sir, and thank you so much to the panel. You have spread so much optimism and sunshine into the entire audience with your robust predictions. And of course, each one of us in the house knows here, we deep in our heart all believe that the only way for silver is up, up and up. But right now, the only way for you is ahead, ahead and ahead. As I request you to present a memento, but this time, you can be a part of the picture. In order to do the real presentation, I'd like to invite on stage Ms. Akanksha Gupta, the Director SMC, to please do the actual honors of presenting the mementos to our speakers. Let's have a round of applause for Ms. Akanksha. It'll make her walk a little more enjoyable while she walks up. So ladies and gentlemen, you do know that right after this presentation, we'll break for a quick tea and coffee. We are a little behind time, so I'd urge you all to pick up your beverages and come back. Akanksha ma'am, let's start with our first speaker, Mr. Vinay Rao. Vatsa sir, please be a part of the photograph as well. Ms. Shiwani Pareek. Mr. Murli Nikam. And Mr. Chandresh Jain. Everyone, can I request you to kindly stand up for a group picture on the stage? Please move up ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, as they click this final picture for this panel, I invite you all outside. Prior to this, I just want to check up, do we have Mr. Alpesh Dand in the house? Alpesh bhai hai yahan par? Dharmendra Rolia hai? Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, tea and coffee is served outside. Feel free to bring your beverages back in. We are ready for the final session of the day, which has already been promised to you many times over by many speakers. It truly promises to be one of the most free-flowing and most interesting sessions of the India Silver Conference this year. I request everyone to be a part of this moment as we start bringing and unveiling our speakers in front of you. It's time to hear out the research institutes, everyone.